You will just see the love emanating off me and us. And here's the ring. We will get into this. Ryan's new nickname is Swifty. He absolutely pulled a Swifty on us. Obviously, I knew he was going to propose at some point. And the comments within seconds of our post going live was, I knew it was coming. I'm like, sis, sit down. Everyone knew it was coming.
Everyone assumed.
No one fucking knew. They assumed. And I was like, oh. Welcome back to quite possibly, definitely one of, I will say. You can't ever have the most important because there's many important moments in your life.
Well, this was kind of a sporadic one, this one, because it was a surprise weekend this weekend.
So you will be listening to this because you have read the title, and I have the King of Kings, and I have a shit-eating grin on my face that just that will not leave my face for literally the entirety of my life, but this episode.
Yeah, so if you are listening to this, we have just officially posted it online.
Yeah, which is so special.
So literally posted, and now we're recording.
And phoned down because I said to Ryan, like, can I just say, if you are listening to this, I would recommend like stopping it and going to the YouTube and watching it instead, because like you will just see the love emanating off me and us. And here's the ring, queens. We will get into this, baby. But he's just got the champagne. Would you like to pop? Please.
Well, I'm gonna pop the champagne because
I said you have to pop.
That's what we do.
That's what we do.
That's what we do.
That's what we do, baby.
Doesn't want to do.
But today is not the day. But we are coming on today to talk about the story of our engagement. And Ryan's new nickname is Swifty. He absolutely pulled a Swifty on us, on me, but definitely us, like the besties, the family, and like
or lack
the
of
community,
I should say,
that I am obsessed with. And let me tell you, like, I will unpack this and I will go deep, I feel like, into the story of just like why I call you a king and why I hold you to the standard that I do, and why you are the pillar of leadership in a masculine way. Are you like, you're trying to pop it still? I love this.
Yeah, she's stuck.
Oh, she's stuck. Okay. Give her
a
spit and a, I wonder why. I was like, it hasn't been frozen. Anyway, we are trying to pop.
So if you are watching this on YouTube, I do go to the gym, honestly.
I swear to God, he has muscle. I feel like it's gonna go bang and I'll go but I got proposed to, my friends, and oh, there we go, my darling.
There we go.
And when I say it was a shock, and I think this is so important, like this is the conversation I want to have about the proposal and the engagement. It is so important as the feminine and as the woman, because in your dating life, thank you, my darling, to allow him to lead. And so I was so blindsided by this engagement and I went into such deep shock. Obviously, I knew he was going to propose at some point. And the comments within seconds of our post going live was, I knew it was coming. I'm like, sis, sit down. Everyone knew it was coming.
Everyone assumed. I'm going to say they all assumed. No one knew shit.
I fucking bowed to him when he said
There were 3 people that knew it was happening. 2 of those were my sons.
Yeah, which I adore.
And the other was Cal, who is your business advisor,
actually.
Who only found out. And I only let the 3 know because they were the 3 that needed me to pull off what I pulled off.
Yeah.
And Cal, I didn't end up having to call her.
The boys. You wanted the boys to know as well. Like that was a bonding experience. I don't know if we're going to talk. Are we going to tell the whole story?
We'll tell the whole story.
Beautiful. I just protect his kids above all costs.
Yeah.
But it
But
is a beautiful story, and they were so supportive and such a big part of it. Like it
yeah.
wouldn't be the story without
So
them.
for people to say they knew, they didn't.
You didn't know. This is what I love about Ryan, and this is how much I like honor him as a king. When I we saw the comments come through, and I will speak for myself as well. When I'm like, clearly I knew I was going to be engaged. When I turned around and we're going to tell the story, and you were down on one knee. I've been rendered speechless one other time in my life, and it was when I was accepted an enormous award that had like never been given, like blah blah blah. Right? It was a business award. I actually got rendered speechless, and it's never happened in my life. And it's so when people go, "I'm speechless," and then they go on to give a speech, sis, you weren't speechless. The second only time I've ever been rendered speechless was when I turned around and Ryan was on one knee, and we'll tell this like the whole story of it, like with this fucking rock with a light on it, and I got rendered speechless. But everyone's like, I knew. And I'm like, and then I said this to you, and you go, no one fucking knew. They assumed. And I was like, oh,
Yeah,
king.
and the way it happened, like we had such a good weekend, and I planted this from since Christmas, really, with
But this is what I
what we
want to
had.
unpack. This is what I really want to unpack. What's the time, by the way? Because I actually want to like, we're trying to keep this like
It's
shortish.
5:43 right now.
Okay, so like 6:15. We're gonna try and keep it as short because we know people love short. So
Mm.
yeah. So okay, so baby. So here's the fun fact. Ryan proposed. We have no plan for this podcast, but we were like, let's post, then let's
We
go
just wanted to keep it
live.
raw.
Super raw. So there's things that I'm going to ask him that I genuinely like are gonna come up on this episode because I just genuinely don't know. Like, hang on, baby. Yeah, when did you buy the ring? Like,
Mm.
because I just haven't asked. But so you did propose. The kids were such a big, beautiful part of it, especially Logan, because
Yeah,
he's the one here that set the whole thing up. And Annie's beautiful girlfriend, Charlie. So
yeah.
shout out
Actually,
to
big shout
them.
out to those two.
Massive shout out to them.
They nailed the assignment and the vision that was in my head for the setup.
Wild.
Mm.
Like, shout out to them more than.
Yeah.
And then we got to sit
Mm.
and you proposed and watch the sunset and drink Verve and unpack it. But I'm like, yeah, actually, baby, what I want to know, like what
So
I
ask me
love.
some questions.
Okay, like I'm dying. So, okay. When did you know you were going to propose? Like, when did you know that you were like, this is the one I'm going to lock down? I actually have no
So
idea.
for most men, they will know within the first month of dating you whether they want to marry you. And then it progressively grows from there, and then it just reassures what you feel.
Mm,
So for men, if you're not feeling it in that first month, she's not the one.
mm. They
But
know that though.
yeah, that's what I
They
said. For
know that.
men know. And then it just,
So if they hang around, it's a fuck thing.
yeah.
Mm.
Um,
So first month, if I like think back, the first month for us was beautiful and very like, yeah, I knew.
yeah.
I knew, let me tell you, I knew the second time I met you. I knew I can't be like I knew the minute I saw you. Like we're just not liars. So I'm like, it's not like the minute I saw you, but energetically, I think my soul absolutely knew. My response to you, my initiation to you, but absolutely the second time I had you here, I think we've shared some of this story. I can't remember.
Well,
We've had a few
I did
chats.
throw you up on my shoulders, so it was that. But
Amen. Sis, amen. But yes. Okay, baby. Yeah, let's go there. No, let's not.
let's not,
But
baby, not in this
yeah,
episode.
but you know what? Fuck it. Like, yeah, I was like, marry me. Like, if you're gonna be throwing me on your shoulders, marry me. But I remember it was actually it was just your fucking certainty. It was your certainty. And I remember I was really like, I was still in that, not wounded. I definitely wasn't wounded. I attracted you from a healed place, but I was healing in the safety of us from the second I met you. And I've told the story, but I remember laying on the couch and saying, you asked me, what's your love
Yeah,
language?
love language
And I
question.
was like, oh, fuck. Like, you can't ask that because I had set the parameters of I'm not dating, you're in a fun era, this is gonna end. Like I was like wounded in a sense.
Yeah, but if they want to hear about that, they can go back a
Go
couple
back. But
episodes
I'm
and
just
listen
saying,
to
like,
that.
I knew with you, I like that's pretty much when I knew. I was
But
like,
then to
oh,
answer the other question, when I knew I wanted to so propose and start putting it into play, it was probably when we went to Perth
mm,
last year. So maybe just before Christmas. And I reckon everyone was speculating, going, "Oh, they're going to do it in Perth." It was never happening in Perth.
it
It
was
was
never
never
happening
happening in
anywhere.
Bali
Yeah.
when we went to Bali over before Christmas as well. It was never happening in Bali on your birthday.
Yeah. So many people
And
speculated.
everyone was just assuming. And then
Wait,
I
so you
guarantee you,
knew
people were assuming that because we got Europe
Europe.
coming up, that it was going to happen in Europe. And you know what? I said that, fuck you guys. I was like, I do shit on my own terms. And that's why I was like, I'm going to do it before Europe, and that will just
Mm,
throw everyone off. And then that allows us,
mm,
while we're in Europe, to just enjoy each other and now
mm,
enjoy
mm.
being
Engaged.
engaged.
Mm.
But
This is what I love about you. So I will speak to you. I don't need to speak to them.
yeah,
The thing that I love about you is this is the way that you lead our life and the way that you have led our life. I'll get emotional, but from the beginning, and how I went into shock for sure.
you definitely do.
Because when I came out of shock, and we'll tell the story, but like when I came out of shock, that's when I started to sob. But I went into shock because I even think, I know for me, I didn't assume ever,
Mm-hmm.
but I had curiosity around, is it going to happen in Europe? Like even I, and not because of anyone's reflections to me, but I was like 16 months, we've talked about forever. We've future projected our entire life month to month. Like we knew we were a sure thing.
Yeah.
So the proposal wasn't going to be a shock. I knew an engagement was coming because the
Well,
first date, I
where we're
was like,
sitting,
I'm
yeah.
a wife, not
Yeah.
a girlfriend.
She made that very clear, might I add.
And we'll get into that. But
Mm.
the thing that I love about you the most is that without even knowing, I think, the importance of still maintaining sacredness of my own private life, as much as people are let in on every level, always, and they really are. There's nothing secret, or no one's ever going to be shocked that about anything about my life. There'll be moments like this that it's like, oh, we got engaged and we've held it for 4 days or 5 days. But knowing that I do live a big life and there is attention on me and there is like projection onto me and there are things like that. When you propose and when we were unpacking it, as the alpha king, you sat there and you looked me in the eye and you were like, I was never proposing in Europe.
Yeah.
And you were like, I've had this plan for months. And you said, this is what you said, like an iteration of this. I won't say exactly, but it was like, everyone assumed it was happening in Europe. So fuck that.
Mm-hmm.
You were like, my terms, my time, my way.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, you were the king.
I've always had that in me. Like when people assume something of me and they're like, "Oh, he's
Surprise.
done this." This is like, no,
Yeah.
that's not how I'd roll. But
Yeah.
anyway, so
So how did you do it,
the
baby? Talk
planning,
the people
the
through
if
it.
we go through the planning, so when it comes to the ring, what the shape, size, and that
Guys.
comes down to listening
Well, so
for me. So I've been taking notes like for a very long time. I'll just add that.
like, and I didn't even know because I was like, so we'll tell the
We're
story because
opening
I
our
feel like this.
conversation
I
though.
feel like the story is so pertinent to like so many of these
Mm.
like the side conversations because once he proposed, and you could tell the story, I'll shut up, but tell the story. But I will say the first thing out of my mouth because they're that my inner circle is my besties
Yes.
are my life. So the first words out of my mouth after
Do the besties know?
fuck yes, oh my god, like shock, 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 yes, 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 oh my god, Ryan Petrusevich, what the fuck, like who did this? And he points at like sweet Logan and Charlie in the bushes. Literally the next words were, "Do the besties know?" Because of the ring. Like I had messaged the girls and I was like, sisters.
Well, I didn't know this until actually last night when
Yeah,
we
Ryan didn't even notice
FaceTimed
until we were literally
Shelby.
FaceTiming the girls. And I was like, and Shelby gave it away. Shelby was like, it's the Anna, it's the ring. And I'm like, because I accused you as well of going through my phone.
Yeah.
I was like, have you gone through my phone? And you were like, what do you mean? And I'm like, I literally had screenshot this ring. Not this ring, the R ring. But I said, do the besties know? And you were like, nobody knows. And this is as well what I love about you. You were like, I was going to do this in my way, on my terms. And I wanted this to be about us. Absolutely no one else.
Oh. Yeah. So
So
what
the
it comes
best,
down
so
to
no one knew. So the ring. So what
so
I want to say is when he says he listened, when he says he listened, and I was like, but I never gave anything away in front of you because I didn't want to be that girl that was like, and I want this, and he was like, no, but you made comments subtly twice, and I'm
yeah, so
like,
we spoke. So because Anna's been married before, everyone knows that.
yeah, no secret.
So I talked to her about that before. I'm like, oh, if you were to get another ring,
This was early too, guys.
I was like, oh, what did you do? You like the shape of the thing, or would you have a preference? And she
Would you
goes,
do it again? I think you were like, I can't remember, but
oh, I said if you got married again, what would you go? And you said it. I'm like, I really love Shani's ring,
that's
like the
right.
shape of Shani's
That's
ring.
right.
And at that point, I hadn't met Shani,
This is early, guys.
and then I hadn't seen her ring. So I'm like, okay, so bestie Shani's ring, yep, noted. And then I'm like, oh, okay, what size did you go with? Did
That's
yours go?
right.
I'm like, not personal.
No,
I
because
don't know. I don't
I've
know
still
what.
got it. I've still got it right. And I do remember this. I've still got the ring. And then long ago, you saw the ring. It was like in where it is,
Mhm.
safely kept. And you go, what size is that? And I go, oh, it's a 1.25.
Yeah,
And I
and
go, oh, but I wish. And I told the story. I said, oh, at the time we were gonna get bigger, but like it would look fake because I was 24. And I go, oh, I wish do represent. I
yeah,
wish I got a two. I wish I got a two. Never thinking this guy would like remember or like demanding.
yeah. So I noted that down as well. So I'm like, okay, well,
Ugh,
let's. So I got
2 carat.
carrot size, we got shape size, and then I also asked you in another conversation, I'm like, what metal you'd like, whether you'd go a gold or you'd
When
go.
there?
I don't remember the conversation, but we had a conversation, and
Oh
you're
my
like,
God.
no, I like the white gold. I was like, okay, noted, white gold.
Oh my God.
So it was all those little things. Like I pay attention because I knew what I wanted. I knew what, and so I knew what you wanted.
Mm,
Well, I wanted you,
mm.
so I wanted to make sure that you got what you wanted.
Oh my God, what I want.
Yeah, you had one opportunity for this, so gotta make it right.
Okay, so then talk everyone through
Okay, so
the proposal.
Christmas,
Oh.
Anna had gotten us a present
Oh,
of
that's
a
right. Yeah.
helicopter ride, just over the Gold Coast here, just a little 15-minute joyride,
Yeah.
and that's been sitting in the bank for a while. And then we had on the weekend coming up,
Mm.
we had the photo shoot.
We had a big weekend.
We had the photo shoot
I'm
for the Aurora Range.
Guys, I'm tired.
And then, but I knew that was coming up like a couple months ago.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Everything's planned in our life.
so I was home about a month ago, and I'm like, oh, baby,
Mm.
that helicopter ride. So after we do the photo shoot,
Mm.
the Sunday we'll relax, and then Monday before we go to Europe, we'll use the helicopter up before we go to Europe.
Made sense. I was like, love
And
that.
and that's just something. It's like because I suggested it, and she follows my lead and trusts me. She's like,
Mhm.
yes, okay, that's perfect. That sounds like a
Done.
plan. So we booked that in,
Hmm.
and
Can I,
then
I like hindsight because I've recorded 3 other episodes today and we've talked about the masculine and feminine so much. I'm like, you know what I love about this? Hindsight. I actually remember when you asked me this, and I remember thinking, not negatively, but I remember thinking, fuck, I am going to be so tired. Like, I know no one knows, you know, because you see
yeah,
it firsthand, what being on at that level pre-photo shoot, during photo shoot,
Yeah.
after photo shoot takes, which is a lot because I am the creative director, like lover, founder, shooter, everything. I actually remember you, so hindsight, saying it to me and thinking, oh,
Is
baby,
that why you hesitated booking it?
yeah, because I remember
You
thinking,
shit.
yeah, because I remember thinking, but this is so important
I had
because
to
in
chase that
your
up too.
head, yeah, he was like, I'm going to propose.
Mm,
In my head, I'm like, I'm going to be so fucking tired.
mm.
Why is he suggesting this the day after the shoot?
2 days.
Two
I leave
days,
us
two
a
days.
day to rest.
Oh, okay, 2 days. In my head, it
Yeah.
was the day after. And yet I was still like, I trust his lead.
Mm.
Let me tell, I just trust his lead. So when he was like, let's do it on the Monday, in my head, I was like, I'm gonna be so fucking exhausted. Just give me a minute. In my heart, I was like, done, baby.
Yeah.
I'll book it. Anyway, hindsight. Beautiful.
Anyway,
Oh,
so
oh.
I had the date booked of when I was gonna do it.
Okay.
Um, but I'd booked the ring, so I
Mm.
ordered the ring online. I
Got
hadn't
it
seen the
custom
ring, but
made.
I chose the diamond, chose the set, chose whatever,
Mm.
got it made, and then when I ordered it, it wasn't going to arrive on time, and I paid
Mm.
the extra to make sure that it got here on time. But even that was going to get here 3 days too late,
Mm-hmm.
and I was DMing them or WhatsApping them back and
He
forth and
was bossing.
kissing ass.
Boss was bossing.
And I was like, oh, I've got this date. And they're like, oh, we can't guarantee you. I'm like, oh, I know you can't guarantee you, but it'd be really nice if you could
You were
make
like,
miracles
I've read
happen.
the WhatsApps. You were like, you're gonna make this happen, miracle worker.
Yeah. And then
He
they're
was like,
like,
I am a miracle
and then the
worker.
guy, because I'm like, oh, I know you can make miracles happen. He goes, I have been called a miracle maker. And then he's like, okay, well, I'll just trust in you guys. And I'd really appreciate it. And they come through. They
Mm,
pulled it off. So I got back from work on the Thursday,
yeah.
and then they'd rung me Thursday afternoon, or they messaged me Thursday afternoon and goes,
A message. Okay. I was like, was I around for that call? I don't know.
and they're like, "Oh, we've got it in. You've come up. You book an appointment to come in and see it." So at this point, I needed an excuse to leave. She's staring at me. I needed an excuse to then go up to Brisbane on the Friday, knowing very damn well we'd already had Friday jam packed
Oh man,
with
I was
getting
booked
stuff
minute to
ready
minute.
for the shoot on the Saturday. So I'm like,
Mm.
crap, how am I going to get out of this to get like
And I
to get from the
rely
Gold
on
Coast up to Brisbane for those that
mm,
don't live on the coast or in Brisbane? It's an hour and a half each
mm,
way. So that's 3 hours out of the day I've got to
yeah.
go MIA.
And I do rely beautifully and femininely like on you when you're home.
MIA without her knowing. And I don't lie to you. So I'm like,
No.
fuck, how do I do this without that? So I'm like, oh, I need my son's got his hours at the moment and needs to get his
Logan.
hours up. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to take Logan for a drive. He needs to get his hours up, and I wouldn't mind spending time with him before Europe.
What did I
And
say?
being the loving queen that you are, it's like, oh, okay.
Of
So
course.
we hurried up all the stuff that we needed to do for the day, so I could shoot off at 1 o'clock and then go
Yeah.
pick him up and then take
We
him out for
changed
the
the whole
afternoon.
day. This is what I love. This is what I want women to get within the story because it's our story, but I'm like, there's always a coachable moment.
Mm.
When I look back, because there's many moments, because I've unpacked the one thing I unpacked with you, I was like, you had a because I needed like validation. I'm like, you had a conversation like I actually can't remember now, like 2 or 3 or 4 weeks ago,
Yeah.
like soonish. And he got up off the couch and he walked into the bedroom, which you never do because we don't like we don't keep secrets. Like it's unnecessary. Any phone conversation can be had. And I didn't think anything of it because I'm not sus because you're so safe. Obviously, like you're not gonna. But I was like, "Oh, baby, are you all good?" And you go, "Yeah, I'm fine." And I was like, "What was that about?" And you're like, "Oh, it doesn't matter." And I left it because it's safe to leave it sometimes. Like every time, if you date a king or you're married to a king, it's safe to leave it. Now, that ended up being a phone conversation about the ring. If I was a wounded woman, well, why did you have to go to the bedroom? Who was it? I would have looked the phone number up. I would have Googled. I fucking forgot about it 4 minutes later. Right. But this is so important.
Yeah.
And then I remember when you were strategizing in hindsight, this ring pickup, I'd booked our day.
Yeah.
months prior, minute to minute. Like Ryan is a king. Like, and I really do rely on you. Like I plan, you have to all understand, like I literally plan now my photo shoots or the big stuff in business around Ryan being
Being
home
here and helping, yeah.
because he's so calm and you're so helpful and you're just such an energy for me. And the day before, friends, the day before, which was nothing for me, you were like, because they called you
Yeah.
and they were like, the ring's ready and come and get it or whatever. I don't know this. And you go, baby, I really want to spend time with Logan. So I just want to spend a couple of hours driving with him. And I literally was like, fine, amazing. I
Yeah.
was like, yep, let's restructure the day. It's easy, no stress. He like, if I can have you in the morning, he can absolutely have, or if he needs you in the morning, give me the afternoon. If he wants you in the afternoon, give me the morning. And I don't know any of this, but
So at this point
yeah,
too, this was Thursday night, Friday morning. I hadn't booked that time to pick up the ring yet.
yeah.
So we'd walked to the gym in the morning, and then
Oh, that's right.
I then had to, because I had to pull like
You pulled
basically
Logan out of school.
I had
Let's
to
be honest.
I had to text the school and let him know that I was going to pull Logan out an hour early. So I was only an hour early from school.
I don't give a fuck. You could pull him out
So
10. School
so
shit.
I'd message the school and let him know, okay, I'm pulling him out at 1:30. And then I was still on the phone because I then had to book the appointment to figure out, okay, if I'm picking him up at 1:30, then I'm going to get to Brisbane by 3. So then I had to book the appointment, and we're walking back, and I'm like trying to book it on my
He's
phone,
on
so I
his
had to be
phone.
behind her. So she's like, "Why are you dawdling so much?" I'm
I'm
like,
like, baby, come
I'm
on.
just trying to text the school and
Hmm.
let them know, and I'm like trying to book this appointment online, and it's like, oh, so that happened,
Mm-hmm.
and then yeah, what was really beautiful that day. So as I was driving to Brisbane with Logan,
Mm-hmm.
my other son Isaiah had called from Canberra
Mm-hmm.
just to talk. He rung Logan's phone just to see what Logan was up to
Mm-hmm.
because he's off injured at the moment. So
Yeah.
he had his knee done, so he's just chilling. And he was on the phone for the whole hour up to Brisbane.
Yeah.
So it was good. It was a good little bonding session for me and my
Yeah.
boys. And
Oh,
I
it's
let them know what I was doing for the day, and we were discussing all the things, and they were happy and excited for us.
There's a video you show, like the
Yeah,
cutest thing for me. Because Ryan was sending me videos. He's like, hey, baby, I'm showing Logan, like, we're in shit traffic
how to
in
drive to
Brisbane. Like, check this out. Because we will always do that. Like, we'll send each other videos or whatever. And then, and then after the fact, once we were engaged, there was this, we were like Ryan unpacked
because
the
I sent
whole
you the video
thing.
because me and Logan song come on and
Oh,
Logan
yeah.
was singing hard out. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, we've turned into
Drake.
car karaoke.
Yeah. So I'd seen all that. And then everything is my favorite, but one of my favorite videos is that you were like you'd recorded
Yeah,
like
I
behind the scenes
yeah
essentially of like the whole situation. And you were like, hey baby, okay, so you don't know, but we're on the way to do something. And then you're like, Logan, what are we doing? He's like, can we tell her? Am
yeah.
I like,
Are we saying the real
are
thing
we
we're
saying the
doing?
real thing? And you were like, yeah. And he was like, okay, Hannah, we're on the way to get your ring. And I'm like, oh, it
Yeah.
was the
No,
best.
we were on the way back. We just picked it up. He goes,
Oh,
we've just picked up a beautiful ring that you've got for Anna,
yeah.
and now we're on the way back. And then I'd taken over, and I'm like, yeah. So I'm sorry, I should be there with you packing
Oh,
because
that's right. I just popped.
you had
Yeah.
just popped a bottle of champagne because you were packing all the girls, all
Guys,
the
and
model stuff.
meanwhile, I was living my best life. Like I was music blaring, champagne popping, packing.
But
It's just a beautiful,
yeah,
this is
it's
just,
a really good
it's
video.
important, but it's important to unpack as well. Because I think, I don't know, I think at my age, our age, the fucking world, like
Mm.
I talk to you all the time. Like there's a page called Sis, Is This Your Man? Holy fuck. The toxicity of men today. Like I've said to Ryan consistently, like, he's a king because you're a king. Like, and I call you into that kingship, but there are some fuck boys out
Mm.
there. And that's a reality for so many women. But for me, the safety that I feel and I've always felt from healing and doing all the things to have magnetized and held and then now be a fiance to you is so beautiful. But I think for a woman to hear, and for women that are in relationship and have been married for a long time, they're like, yeah, this is how I feel. Beautiful. I did too, sis. Then I got divorced. Then I went back into the dating pool and holy shit. Like the amount of married men that were hitting on me, the amount of fuck boys that were out there, right? So for me to have regulated my nervous system enough in just such a stunning sense, there were so many things that happened prior to the engagement in hindsight. Like you took
That could have
calls in
blown
the
up.
other
Yeah.
room, you were always on your phone, you took off unplanned, and I just trusted, and it was beautiful. And there was not a cell in my being that was needy, protective, jealous, like
No,
criticizing,
what
well,
what I
why have
did
you
like
chosen this? Like,
is because I was on the day, so on the Monday, I was on my phone a lot more than I normally would, but that it was me like checking in with Logan to see how he's progressing with everything and
yeah,
how the day was going, and not nagging you turn around and go, baby, are you all right?
yeah, I just
It
checked
was more
in.
concerned, like because you're on your phone and you just assume that there was something
Yeah,
because I was just dealing with something. I'm like, no, everything's fine.
and I trusted.
I was like,
I said,
I told you, I'm just texting Logan, and you're like, oh, okay.
yeah, I
Hmm.
said, because I did, so sis, like on the day of the engagement, Ryan was on his phone like 70% more of the time. But again, you're a king. So I noticed because I'm the feminine, intuitive, and I was like, ah, it's interesting. You are definitely on your phone more. And I just asked because I trust. I said, baby, are you okay? It wasn't like, here's the difference. Why are you on your phone so much?
Yeah.
Why? Because I trust. And I was like, are you okay? Because I was genuinely like, maybe he's in an argument with someone or something's going on with work and I'm not going to assume. So I was like, baby, are you all good? And you're like, yeah. And I was like, okay. And I did say, because I'm never going to lie, I said, oh, you're just on your, this was in the morning. This is
Yeah.
before he was on the phone the rest of the day. And they go, okay, you're on your phone more. And you were like, yeah, it's all good. And I was like, okay. And that was it.
Mm.
I was like, we're done.
Oh.
And that's because he was going to fucking propose.
Yeah, and what got her? She's like, "You were so calm all
Oh
day," and
my
I was like,
God.
"Cause I did my planning.
Yeah.
I did my work. I had it all sorted out. It was all going according to plan. I trusted who I had
Because you're a
running
king.
everything.
Yeah.
But when we went to the thing, so we had a lot on that day. So we trained in the morning,
We always have a lot.
and then we needed to go to the warehouse to
We did that
because we
to pack
to pack
hundreds of
to
orders.
pack orders because we'd just gone live on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
We had a heap of orders in, and that's what you love to do. You love to get in there
Yeah.
when you do a new launch. You love
Yeah.
to pack orders yourself,
Yeah.
put the postcards in. You handwrit on over 200
100.
postcards
Yeah.
that night.
Yeah.
So you were up late handwriting. You were
Yeah.
up early doing more.
Yeah. Sis had bags.
So it was a big day, and
Yeah.
then we'd organised to go out for lunch before we'd gone to on the helicopter ride. So that also played perfectly in my favor. So of
Yeah.
course we went to the warehouse, so we just had our normal clothes on, but we packed some nicer clothes
No,
to
but
put
let me
on for
set it
the
up.
restaurant.
No, to be fair, I had said you had set this all up. Like that morning, the night before, like the weeks before, you were like, baby, after the launch, book the helicopter. Like, let's celebrate. Like you've got, and I was like, yeah, send it to me. Done. Then it was, let's go for lunch. Like, let's have a beautiful, I'm gonna celebrate you. Done.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was the morning of, I was like, should I pack? Like, I just trust you so infinitely, baby, because I was fucking tired, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm tired right now. Like, we're recording this on the back of like fucking 21 days straight of work. I'm tired. And I said, baby, like, I mean, I look good, but I was like, should I wash my hair? Like, I get decision fatigue, right? And I'm like, I felt good because I had like my hair done, but I was like, baby, should I wash my hair? And I love this about you. You were like, yeah, wash your hair, baby. You'll feel better. And I was like, done. So this is thank fuck because the guy proposed 10 hours later. And then I was like, I don't care how I look. So I'm always like, we were going to the factory. I'm just honoring you, baby, and you're just like decisiveness. And we were going to the factory, and I knew like I wanted to wear Aurora, so I'm like, baby, like, should I pack something else? Like, I just don't even care. Like, and you were like, yeah, but it wasn't a thing. You were just so
Well, I because
certain
I'm
and
like,
solid.
and
You were
then I'm
like,
like,
yeah, pack a dress, and I was like,
I'm gonna pack extra
okay,
clothes.
yeah,
So I packed
okay,
extra clothes, and you're like, oh, I know what dress I'll wear this dress then.
yeah,
I was like, perfect.
yeah. You're just such a leader.
And it worked in my favor. I wanted to pack extra clothes
Yeah.
because I needed to conceal the ring, the box ring. So I had an alternative motive for
Where
actually wanting to
was,
pack.
wait,
Where was what?
where was the ring? Now I'm like, hang on.
When we went to the factory and the
When we
warehouse and
left
that.
the house,
So when we left the house, because it was hidden,
where?
where I pulled the thing out today. So up in the top wardrobe in
No,
my
no, no.
juicy
But
bag.
where was the box when you? I'm like, hang on. Where was the box when we walked from the house to the car to head to the warehouse? Or had you already put it in the car?
In my clothes.
Oh wow. Okay.
So that's why
Okay.
I needed to pack those extra clothes. So I you went
Oh.
out to grab your dress. I've quickly jumped into the wardrobe,
Oh, you're.
grabbed out the box, put my clothes on the bed, and
But
wrapped
I had put it.
wrapped.
But I put it in my hand. You did
No,
not.
I wrapped the bag, my the ring, and put it inside the clothes.
In my handbag.
I went to put it in your handbag, but then I had to move it out because I didn't want you to have to pull out my clothes to get something from your handbag
Where
and
did
it
you
to
put
fall
your
out. I just
clothes?
put it on the back seat of the car
Oh.
because I went
Um.
to put it into your handbag, and then I'm like, no, if she pulls my clothes out to get something from her
Oh my God,
handbag
could
and
you
that falls
imagine?
out, that's gonna fuck
Game
everything.
over.
So I then went, oh
Good
no, I'll
job.
just carry it out. So I carried it to the car,
Okay.
just put it on the back seat,
Okay, good job.
and then
Tell the story. I feel like we're not trying to avoid it, but there's just so much to unpack before it, which is so sweet. But then, and then, so then we did the warehouse, then we went for lunch,
so we went
then we did the helicopter, and
warehouse,
then
lunch, helicopter. Um, and then when we
oh,
come
there's so
out,
champagne, more champagne. Like
oh
there
yeah,
was such
we drank probably 4 bottles of champagne that day.
all up,
Yeah,
guys,
all
from
up, not
like
true. Yeah,
9 a.m. till
but
whatever,
we
10.
got to lunch early, so we went to
Yacht club.
the yacht club, and we had popped a bottle of champagne, had a bottle of champagne there, bottle of champagne for lunch.
It's just what I want to say is it was like just the perfect day.
Mm,
Like I remember sitting in the sun. And this is what I love. I took a photo of you and I literally was like, have a moment, baby.
mm.
Like
Oh,
this is
it
this
was.
is it. Like I was like, welcome to my Mondays. Like, welcome to dream life. Like this is it. Anchor anchor it in. Little did I know this
Yeah,
guy.
but the energy that it was, the day
Oh,
was just perfect
see you though.
for the situation.
Yeah.
Like everything was just rolling into place. I was texting my son, making sure he had everything in place. He's like, "Yep, got this, got that." Um, I do you want these on the arch, and I'm like, "No, keep it neutral," because him and his girlfriend had sent me a photo of these flowers to put on the arch, and I was like, "No, I want it all neutral."
Mm-hmm.
Um, they're like, "Oh." I'm like, get a rug, get some throw pillows. And they're like, oh, do you want this? I'm like, no, 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 this is what I want. And I sent them photos of these 2 settings.
And I was like, wee, shopping.
I got two settings. I'm like, this is what I'm envisioning. And I've sent him the 2 photos of the thing. And it's like, yep, got you.
Yeah. The
Um,
best.
we went on the helicopter ride.
Mm.
And then as we were up in the air and we're driving over the spit, I'm like, oh, baby, how about after here, we go for a walk along the spit and then a walk along the beach? And then
I was like,
I knew
amazing.
that's where the plan was going because that's where the setup was. And then being the queen you are and just leading or trusting my lead,
Mm.
you just without hesitation go, yeah, that sounds perfect.
Perfect. I did get off the plane and then I was like, baby, let's go for a drink.
Yes, you did.
I was like, let's just go for another
Let's go for
drink.
another drink.
And
And
you were like, no, baby, we'll go for a drink and we'll come back. Okay.
yeah, and I'm like, oh, we'll go for a
Okay.
walk and then we'll grab a drink afterwards
Yeah.
because
And
I.
that's the lead. I just think this is really important. I think
Mhm.
it's an important piece. Like, because we were there. And in hindsight, yet again, actually what made sense, because we were right there, is like, no, let's have a drink, then let's go to the spit. But I
Mm.
just don't even question. Like, thank fuck, because you were about to propose and give me the greatest extra day of my life with the most beautiful ring of my life. And if I had have fought that, like, even to the point of like passive aggressive control, like, no, but we're here.
Yeah.
So let's just have a drink, then we'll go because that's stupid. Like, because I love champagne. So also, like, I was like, no, but we've just got off the helicopter. Why not? But you were the boss. Like, and what a gift because what you were leading me to was a fucking
Well,
fairy tale proposal.
I knew the setting I wanted, so I was looking at the time and I was like, okay, we need to go for a walk, and then by the time we settle in on the beach, I'm like, it's ready for sunset.
Yeah.
We're gonna get
Yeah.
that magical hour, and we ended up there a lot longer than now. But
So Big Dog said, let's go to the beach. I said, let's have a drink. He goes, no, let's go to the beach. I was like, okay. So then he drove us. Like it wasn't just a walk. Like he goes, oh, we'll jump in the car and we'll drive down. I was like, perfect. Wee. So then we drove there.
drove there, went for a walk along this bit, and as this was the funniest though.
But this is where I want to honor you. Calm. Like nothing changed about him. Like I just don't know. I think maybe I don't know. I just thought maybe when the time came, you would maybe be nervous. No.
Just good planning.
No, baby, you're just a king. Like,
But yeah,
so we
so
walked down
I'm
the
going to tell you
spit.
the funny story though. So as we're walking along the spit, so we're walking out along the rocks, you got the lighthouse at the end.
It's in the Gold Coast if you're listening elsewhere.
It's a real pretty spot. So we're walking along there. Anna's looked down onto the beach, and in the far distance, you could see the setup that my son and his girlfriend had set up there, and it looked like a wedding setup.
Yeah. The most romantic fucking setup
And then
ever.
Anna's gone, oh, look, someone's getting married.
I go, baby, look, someone's getting married. Because it was like 4 o'clock or
And then
something.
I didn't want to bring a big, like, draw attention to it too much. So I've just agreed, I'm like, oh, that's
oh,
cute.
that's so cute.
And then we kept walking. I've got a text from the son. It's like, oh,
What are you wearing?
Because they
Yeah.
wanted to know because they had to hang around because there were still people walking and dogs walking.
Yeah.
So like, we've got to hang around so no one wrecks it. I was like, oh, we're here now. I'm wearing black. She's wearing white, and we're opposites today. And he's like, okay, cool. I'm like, we'll finish walking here. We'll be there in like 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes. He's like, okay. So then got off the rocks and then walked along the beach, heading towards where the setup was.
Were you nervous? I haven't even asked you this. I just think I assume you weren't. Were you nervous?
No,
No.
the most nervous part of the whole day for me was trying to get the ring into my pocket after we'd come off the helicopter because the ring was still in the car. So trying to get the ring into my pocket for the drive to the spit, and then without you noticing a big bulge in my pocket.
But you stood on the right side, like the right side
So
for me.
I had it in my left pocket. If you're watching the YouTube, I had it in my left pocket. These are
actually the shorts.
The pants I was wearing, the shorts I was wearing. So I had it in my left pocket here, which while I'm driving is in plain view of Anna. So I had to while I
Ryan Patricevic.
While I drove, I had to kind of like dip this leg right down and have it pushed up against the.
Wait, when did you put
console.
it in your pocket then?
So as soon as we got back from the helicopter ride and we went to the car after you wanted a champagne, I said no. I was like, we'll go for a walk first. I was
and
like,
you thought to put it in your left pocket, which would have faced me.
No, because while we're walking, you always sit on my right side.
I do. That's like our thing.
So I had to put it into my left side.
Oh my God, I live for this. Okay.
And then so that I'm like, had to try to do that really fast and as sneaky as possible so you didn't see it. Luckily, she was tipsy, everybody.
I was very tipsy.
And then, yeah, so she saw
no,
the setup.
but I feel like that would make me, I'm more aware. Like, I'm more aware and more lippy. Like, I'd be like, what's that? That's how, honestly, much you threw me.
But it was just, everything just kept flowing that day. It flowed onto this, it flowed onto that.
Yeah.
And then we'd got to the point of where the setup was on the beach. And luckily, Anna is like a puppy dog and there's a squirrel. A squirrel. But she noticed the surfers in the water and there was probably about 20 surfers.
It was an inordinate amount for the waves.
In the water. And she's turned around and was like, has nobody told the surfers that there is no surf today?
I was like
Someone
commentating.
check on the surface, and like I'm normally sitting right next to her on her hip, like when we're walking along the beach, like holding hands, and I wasn't there. I was
He left
intentionally
me.
I lagged back a bit, so she had made this comment thinking she was hilarious,
Brilliant. Genius.
and then turned back to not see me smile or not be there, and she said what? So she's had to do a full circle around, like turn right around. So at that point, I'm down on one knee,
Mm.
box in hand. So
With a light
as
on
she's
the
turned around and seen me, I
mm.
popped open the ring box,
You said some beautiful
said some
things.
beautiful things,
I
and
start screaming.
she was there. You were stunned
I
for a hot. I'm gonna say
flat.
a hot 10 seconds. You just stood there like a stunned mullet. You just dead, and then you like
I'm
started
still in shock.
screaming and then
Mm.
crying and then all the things like yes, yes, yes.
It's a Monday.
And then I've then alerted her and I'm like, oh baby, by the way, that's not a wedding, that's for us.
Yeah, by the way, let it be known. I don't know like the worthiness level of me or not, but like I still hadn't caught on that this wonderfully romantic setup that I don't there wasn't a part of me that was like, oh, genius, he hijacked like the setup, but I was like so obsessed and into you. I was like, you're proposing and there's this fucking 70 million carat ring and I was like, oh, and then you said all these beautiful things. And then I remember just absolutely going into shock, like
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. And then having to cognitively and consciously come back into my body and then screaming yes 1,000 times. And then the first thing, because I'm like, who set this up? Well, the first thing was like, do the
Yeah.
besties know because of
You
the
hit the
ring?
bestie
And you're
and the
like,
besties
not,
know.
no one knows. And then I'm like, who the fuck set this up? Because then I'm thinking besties. And then you point. This is my favorite part. And we could talk
Mm-hmm.
about it because this is my favorite part. Then you point, and I'm like crying at this stage. And like Logan, your son, and
Logan at
Charlie,
Charlie,
his
yeah.
girlfriend, were just like standing there like proud soldiers,
They popped out of the sand dunes
like
and they're like,
cheesy. And I was like, and that's when I lost it because that
yeah.
actually meant, which is so interesting but beautiful for me, that I didn't even think I'd date a dad. And then the most important thing about the engagement for me was the kids in the end.
Yeah.
It was like them standing there and you were like, they did it. And I was like, oh, and then I lost it. That was it. Game
Mm-hmm.
over. And then that's when then they filmed and
Then
then it
they
was
filmed for us for a little bit, and then they took off, and they're like, "Oh, are you? How are you taking them?" I'm like,
I was
don't
so
worry, we'll sort it
concerned.
all out. They were
They're like,
concerned
who's
when
gonna pack
they're
up?
like, "Do we need to hang around and pack
Yeah.
up?" It's like, no, we'll get it.
Yeah.
So we got to sit down and then enjoy the
Yeah.
sunset, enjoy a bottle of verb,
Have our moment.
enjoy each other.
Yeah. And now we're engaged.
Mm.
But it was beautiful. And I think that's something like I protect. I think I'm very vocal and I'm very, I don't know, very honest about my own life. The
Yeah,
thing that I'm most protective of is you, but most importantly, the kids.
yeah.
But I think what I love the most is that for me, they became the most important part of the
Of
engagement
the
for me.
engagement, their
Yeah.
involvement in it. And then when I told you the story when Logan and Isaiah were in the car and chatting to
They were
me
so
and that, and it's
excited.
like, oh,
Yeah.
it really did make it special, and it's so funny. And even now, when I unpacked the car today with all the because we had
I
all the
didn't.
stuff still in the car,
I've been busy.
so I was unpacking the car today with all the stuff, and I'm just like
Mm,
brought back feelings of that day. I'm just like, oh, I got overwhelmed again today of how good of a job they actually did
yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
So for those, I actually told them, I'm like afterwards, I'm like, you two should go into set up for engagement parties. Like you guys have
They
done
genuinely
such a
need
good
to.
job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what I just think like, yeah, that's the biggest thing. And I won't go too much into it, but I'm like, I think the most surprising thing for me, but the sweetest thing for me was, and I've sent you the photos, like
Oh,
one of my favorite
I know the
photos
one you're
of the whole
alluding to.
engagement is Ryan proposing and then Logan, your son, in the background, like just watching, so proud and having set the whole thing up.
Yeah.
And then you sharing the videos of going to pick up the ring and the boys like being so proud and happy. And yeah, so it's just, and then obviously as well, we came home and we called the besties and we called the family
Oh,
and just,
that was a fun night.
yeah,
Getting to call everyone and let them know.
it's been a fun, I mean, like for our family, we got big families and big besties. Like I've spent, so it happened Monday afternoon. Today's Thursday. We were never going to announce it until everyone that needed to be called had been called
Yeah.
or text or
Or text
told.
will let
It
know.
took us 3 days. Like
Mm.
it's taken me 3 days.
It didn't help that I had to go straight back to
Yeah.
work. So I proposed and then on the Monday
Yeah.
and then had to go back to work on the Tuesday. Lucky I had a short week because we're going to Europe.
Yeah.
So I was able to come home today and we're like, let's share it because we wanted to share it when we were together.
Yeah.
But like you said, we had to let everyone else know before we let.
And I wanted to be with you energetically
Mm.
when we shared it with the rest of the world because we are the most important. So that's the story, team. I'm like, have we missed anything?
I think we've got it all
I
covered.
think we have it all covered.
So if anyone wanted to know how it happened, that is the story.
I think there's a few things that I love the most, and I want to unpack. We will do a whole other episode if you will let me on, I don't know. I just think I never, I don't think I know you absolutely never did. I know I never expected to be single again in my mid 30s, which I
Yeah.
was. And I know absolutely you didn't either. You're such a family man. And then I think becoming single, and I know for me anyway, not for you, but like having the toxicity, like my whole fucking journey, the thing that I'm obsessed with you about and myself, like honor myself first and foremost, but especially you, is just like the king that you are and the kingship that I call you into and the pillar of possibility of love and hope and truth that our story holds. Because there was toxicity before us both, there was love, absolutely, and
Yeah.
healthiness and like beautiful divinity and children, like for you, children,
Mm-hmm.
like all the things, but also finding love in your 40s and in my 30s. Like, I think that's so important because I never expected to be in that situation
Yeah, no,
again.
none of us pre-planned
No.
being single, and well, me in my like late 30s or early 40s
Yeah.
was never a plan of mine.
Yeah. But then when you are,
Mm.
and then you,
But
for
then,
me and you, delve into the dating pool and it's
yeah,
fucking toxic.
dating pools suck.
Holy porn and ghosting and just, I didn't experience it because I just wouldn't give it up for fuck boys. But like, there's shit out there. But my God, there are kings. And this is the standard that I want women to know that's possible and to strive for. And not even that, to just not strive for because they don't need to strive for anything. They just need to deeply, inherently know that they're worthy.
Yeah, know your worth.
Know your worth. And
Both kings and queens know your worth.
yeah.
Yeah, if you've got standards, hold yourself to the standards. You don't have
Yeah.
to settle.
And
Know
for
what you
you,
want.
as a queen,
Mm.
like dating a king, like, and people at us, like, and we get haters, team.
Oh yeah, everyone gets haters, but
We will, like, there's haters,
you
but
promote each other and people will hate on you. Like they hate the language you talk because it's
like,
not the
fuck
language
off with this king
not the
queen
language that they talk
bullshit
to each other. And it's like,
because they're toxic and
yeah,
underfucked. But like, fact. But for me, I'm like, that's the level and that's the standard. And that gets to be the truth and that gets to be the reality. And for 16 months, I have met you, been treated like a queen, or being led, being loved, being like admonished, like just being led by you in
mm,
every single way. And then there was a beautiful engagement and it's all possible. And even that, like we could unpack the fucking, like I was talking to him about the ring. Ridiculous, friends. When we won't talk about it because that is a materialistic thing,
yeah,
but even the ring, like I said to Ryan, like, come on. And you were even like, it should hurt a king Like it needs to be an investment. And I was like, amen. But
It should.
but actually,
Yeah.
like for me, when I got it, I was like, the worth that I feel, I don't give a fuck how that activates anyone. The worth that I feel knowing this, like what he put on my finger, I'm like,
But it's also the season
I
and the
deserve
standard
it.
I'm in it though. Like
And
off my first marriage, like
yeah,
I did not give her that because that was not where I was. I
you were
was
20.
20. I was
You were 20, baby.
I was 20, but that rock I gave her still hurt me.
Yeah, and I was about to say, and was still beautiful and was
Yeah.
still
When I
worthwhile.
say
Yeah.
hurt, that's financial hurt. Like it
Yeah,
didn't
correct.
pain me in any
Yeah.
way because that's the love I showed for
Yeah.
her. So I gave it to her as much as I could.
Beautifully. Yeah.
So that was my period of that time was where I was sat, and it's not where I'm sitting now.
Yeah. And
And
that's
it's a
beautiful.
big difference. And same with you. You were 24
Yeah.
at the time.
Yeah.
So
And it's the same. I had a beautiful ring for my first, and I
mm,
respect him so much. And there's nothing but love and all of the things, and no buts. Same. It's like, and
yeah, so
fuck,
it's
when you
never a
find the
comparison.
one, no, absolutely never. But it's
Mm.
like when you find the one, and for me, it is king. And with the ring, even like I said to you tonight, I was like, and we weren't going, but it was like, I said to him, I'm like, you've got to feel like King Dick with the quality you put on my finger. And he was like, I do. And I was like, you should.
Mm.
Like that matters to me. Now, let me preface and say that I felt the same because of means and standards when I was first married. And as the queen you first were engaged to, you were engaged, should as well. There's no difference and no comparison. But standards and levels for me, now the standard that I hold for my life is very fucking different to the standard that I held when I was 24, as it should be, because I'm different as a woman. It's not even about the financial security or anything. It's like the woman that I am today. What, mate, the toads that I dated, or the princes that I dated, or the princes that I kissed prior to the king, it's like I would have like admired and respected the whatever they gave me. But when you find the king, let me tell you, on every molecular level, whatever the standard is you hold for your life, and I'm not talking about size or clarity or anything, it's the relationship to the reality for their life and the growth that they have is so powerful. And for me, it would be remiss of me not to say, like, I am proud to be your queen and you are the true king.
I'm proud to have you as my queen, baby.
Thank you, baby.
All right. Well, we do need to wrap
We'll
things
wrap it up.
soon.
You need to go to the gym. He's off to the gym. I've already trained today, but you've just flown in. So you were off to the gym like the true king you are.
Need to get my reps in. I couldn't open the champagne bottle before.
He drank kombucha. This is the king though. Like, let's talk about it. Like, I was able to. I could have my champagne because I've trained today. So, but Ryan was like, he drank kombucha because he's like, I'm off to train.
I topped it up with a little bit of champagne.
A sip, a tibble. But you were like, I don't want to have a drink because you're like, I'm off to train.
Yeah.
So, I love you, baby.
So I was drinking kombucha. It's got a little bit of champagne in. So it's a shandy now.
Well, my love, thank you for making me a wife to be.
Wife to be.
Thank
your
you for
fiance. I can't call you my girlfriend anymore. Everyone, I'd like to introduce you to my fiance.
Thank you for making me your fiance. Thank you for leading us. Thank you for being a king, and thank you for just being the love of my life.
You're very welcome. All right.
We love everyone. Until next episode, I always say, what do we say, baby?
Stay wild.
Stay wild. Thanks so much for tuning in. And as always, I hope you got something out of this conversation that you can use to challenge your own status quo. If you liked what you heard, it would mean the world to me if you shared this episode on your socials to help get this podcast more out in the world. Don't forget as well to tag me personally at @thereal_Anna Rose so I can thank you personally. If you're also loving the conversations, leaving a review on iTunes by going to the podcast, scrolling down and clicking leave review will help even more amazing humans that need to find me and these conversations find me. As always, though, I am eternally grateful that you're tuning in. And until the next episode, know that I am always cheering on your sovereignty and success.